Yeah, Cody, I can imagine, right? I can imagine that's how Atlanta Hawks head coach Nate McMillan sounds in every timeout. Coach, what was y'all do? Is you really asking me this? You ain't never watched the Fresh Prince? Give the ball to Will. We don't have a Will. Trey. Give the ball to Trey. Coach, you ain't never heard that by Rod Stewart, Forever Young? I'm pretty sure that's playing in the minds of the Milwaukee Bucks today. All right, welcome back. Tune in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge, along with
Young Cody.
Young Cody.
Yep.
Right here on Raise Praise 100. You can download the app at Raise Praise 100 or listen to us at RaisePraise100.com. 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. Hey, Young Cody, on last night, the Atlanta Hawks defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 116-113 in the Eastern Conference Finals. You ready to break this down a little bit? Let's start off with Mr. Young, Forever Young. All right? Let's start off with Trae Young. Young Cody had 48 points and 11 assists. Now, before you respond, let me say this. I wrote this down too. I owe the fans of this show an apology. I owe them an apology. I'm not afraid to say when I'm wrong. You know why I owe them an apology? Because I said a healthy Embiid would have stopped his Young's floaters in the lane. I was wrong. I thought that a healthy Joel Embiid would have prevented him from coming to the lane and made him get points in other types of ways. I think that he's just gonna shoot it regardless, and he's gonna shoot it over any and everybody. What was your assessment of Trae Young on last night, Young Cody?
My assessment on Trae Young is,
well, make sure you say what you tweeted too.
I don't want to say sound like I'm a salty fan, but I am, because obviously they beat us in the playoffs. But think of it this way, Big Sarge. If they make it to the NBA Finals and go 7 games with whoever comes out of the Western Conference, the 76ers look even better because they won 7 games with this team that is potentially.
Y'all the number one. Y'all, the 76ers was the number one seeded team in the East. How can
they got a new coach? Like you said, they got a new coach, and they was like 35-15 or something like that. So technically, they could be number one.
So there's no possible way you're trying to sell me on the fact that if the Atlanta Hawks make it to the finals, that you can say, well, that doesn't make the 76ers look so bad. We lost to a team that went to the finals. That team was seeded number 5, right? When they the fifth, like they were the 5th seed.
They were the 5th seed, yeah.
And they beat the number 1 seed. Young Cody, stop.
And they beat the Knicks.
But Trae Young, now hold on, Young Cody, because Trae Young did go through a stretch last night where he was missing shots, and you tweeted out something.
Yes, I did. I said, I would go under the screen on Trae Young and make him shoot. Don't let any of his teammates get involved, and make him a 3-point shooter. And what happened at the end of the game was Trae Young almost 3-point shot his team out of winning the game. He just kept coming down the court, jacking up threes. Like they would do what the Nets were doing. They would just come down the court, he dribbled like for what felt like 10, 15 seconds, and just shoot a 3.
What do you think would have prevented? So, what do you think prevented him from keep shooting them threes like the threes? What do you think? Threes. What do you think prevented him from keep shooting threes?
What prevented him from keep shooting threes?
You want me to tell you?
I think they kept. I don't know.
Nate McMillan is old school. He got hard hands. Trae don't want that issue, right? Trae don't want that issue. He got hard hands like So you know Coach Silas, Steven Silas?
Yeah.
You know his dad used to coach in the NBA as well. Paul Silas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want that issue with him either. He got hard hands too. He ran somebody about the locker room one time talking trash to player.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, they didn't want that smoke with Coach Silas like that. And I'm not talking about Steven. I'm talking about Paul. Yes. Hey, side note, Young Cody.
Yeah.
You see who the Indiana Pacers hired?
Yeah. It's the call a lot.
What are we thinking? Maybe 7th seed for like however long he's there?
The thing is, he don't have a player. Well, let me say this. Sabonis is good. Sabonis can be your best player.
Don't they have?
They can make playoffs.
They got another player there that they got from. Is it Karis LeVert there?
Yeah, Karis LeVert is there. But
What about the guy from? What about the center that had to sit out because he was injured?
Turner. I think they got to get rid of one. I think they're going to get rid of either Sabonis or Turner.
Gotcha.
They can't both play together.
All right, so back to the Eastern Conference Finals on last night, though. So I wrote a couple of things down. One, young Cody, the Hawks are going to be Milwaukee in 6 games. And hold on, hey, full disclosure, I don't like to toot my own horn, but young Cody,
yep.
When we talked last night before the game started, I said, "Hey man, who you think gonna win the game?" Who did you say?
I said the Bucks.
Who did I say?
You said the
Hey, have you ever seen Major Payne? So I feel like they're going to beat them because they're more athletic. You got John Collins, 23 points, 15 rebounds. You got Clint Capella, 12 points, 19 rebounds. They're just more athletic. And if you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, they're comprised of a bunch of players who like to get physical, but their feet are slow.
Yes. Yes.
PJ Tucker, his claim to fame right now is the only thing he can do. He can beat you up. But did you see how many times Trey put him in the spin cycle last night?
PJ Tucker, he jumps as he's sliding his feet. And it looks like, I'm like, please don't put this man.
It's just that they're too athletic, young Cody. They're too athletic. And that's even what heard about Donovan on the floor.
I would take that back. I don't think they're athletic. I just think the Bucks are just slow. like they just slow.
I mean, you think about it. When I say athletic, like Lou Williams, athletic. Even at his age right now, he's more athletic than what they have.
Okay.
Right? Trae Young, John Collins, and I wrote this down, young Cody. Let me see, where did I put that? Right here. I think John Collins hates centers. I don't know why, but I think he hates centers. Did you see how he dunked on Brook Lopez?
Off the back, but that was nice.
This
it kind of does an assist.
Yes.
It does? Okay.
Yes. Great. So, young Cody,
that should be 2 assists.
And this is, look, when that happened, I was like, oh, how could I put this? The Atlanta Hawks play without any fear. They don't fear the Milwaukee Bucks. They don't fear the deer, right? Because they look over there and it's like, all y'all got is Giannis, and if we pack the lane, ain't nobody else can beat it. Like, Drew Holiday had the most silent 33 points. I didn't even know he had 33 points. Did you? I was like, wait a minute, Drew Holiday had 33? I know Chris Middleton didn't do anything. And I knew Robin Lopez, is it Robin or Brooke? Which one of them was like, well, look, it's about, they the same to me as the Morris twins. So I was like, I don't know. Right? The only thing that I knew about the Lopez being in the game is that John Collins dunked on him. Yeah, Cody, that dunk right there, have you ever played on, have you ever went to the elementary and played on the little goals? Mm-hmm. So everybody is Jordan and Dominique on those, right? Yeah. That's the kind of alley-oop you throw in on the little goals. They threw it on the 10th goal. And John Collins is like, bro, he plays with reckless abandonment. In his mind, he's like, oh, see it, want it, buy it, own it. He go get it, young Cody. But they're more athletic. So, PJ, listen, they don't have a player on that team that they can put on Trae Young. Now, you remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about guys who could dribble and dribble away from their body, right? Remember we talked about that? Yeah. Trae Young was one of them. And what I mean by dribble away from his body is when a guard or when anybody, because Kevin Durant can do it too sometimes. But when you can dribble away from your body, that puts a lot of pressure on the defender not to reach. Because when you dribble away from your body, you hear in your mind, the defensive player's mind is, I can get that. And they're going to try to go get it. As soon as they reach, what's the old saying? You reach, I'll teach. Bam, got it. So that's why PJ Tucker looked like he was in a spin cycle. Drew Holiday looked like he was in a spin cycle. Chris Middleton looked like there was nobody they could put on Trae Young that could. The shot Trae Young was the shot that he just missed. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. And I think, to be honest, Trae Young, ice Trae. He is ice Trae, but he'd be so cold from 3-point lines sometimes. And I'd be like, man, just let the guy. Like, I would rather let him shoot than let her shoot.
But hold on. Do you really want, because for as cold as he is, he can heat up too, young
He
Cody.
can heat up, but I would rather him heat up than John Collins. John Collins had 25 points. And I was like, he had 25 points?
23.
23?
Yeah, 15.
Close enough. And Clint Capella had 13 points. I'm like, wait, when? But that's all from like the assist, the pass, him getting in the lane. I don't want him in the lane because when he's in the lane, he can dish to her. He can dish to Collins. He can throw an alley to Clint Capella. Like, I don't want him in the lane.
For the millions and millions of listeners right now who can't see me, I'm tooting my own horn right here because if I'm not mistaken, for all the millions and millions of listeners who tune in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge every week, I'm pretty sure that I told young Cody, hey man, Trae Young he's dangerous as an offensive weapon, not just because he can shoot or get to the lane, but because he can find the open person. And that was why I said he was going to beat the 76ers. And I did it.
Say that.
You know, we've already passed. I had a great pun. I was going to say, all puns intended, that they're young, right? They play with a lot of energy, right? The Bucks defenders are too slow. Brings me to this. I'm going to stop this right quick, young Cody, because I need this separate from me. No possible way to pick up basketball in 1-on-1, in 21, in horse, in 2K. There's no possible way you finna shimmy on me. I listen. I'm just gonna have to take one for the team. I'm just gonna have to get a flagrant 2 and get kicked out.
Yeah.
Ain't no way I'm going to let you shimmy on me. Here's the thing. It should have been Brook Lopez. And the reason why it should have been Brook Lopez, and what I mean by that is, so everybody's seen the play. Everybody's seen the play. John Collins goes to set the pick on Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday gets shook out of his shoes. And Trae Young is standing there wide open, and he does the little Steph Curry shimmy, right? Adjusts himself the same way. Do you remember when James Harden dropped Wes Johnson like that against the Clippers? Shook a little bit, and then hit the shot, right? At that point, going back down the court, I feel like Brook Lopez should just came from behind and pushed Trae Young in the back of the head.
I just jumped on like White House.
Right? You gotta do something to him. And it should have been Brook Lopez because you've already got embarrassed. You gotta redeem yourself. You got dunked on by John Collins off the backboard alley-oop. So it should have been Brook Lopez, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. So like, I'm not for old school basketball where you like no blood, no foul, you trying to hurt people, this, that, and other. Somebody on that team had to step up because that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say this. It's embarrassing, young Cody. Know what else was embarrassing? And I want you to chime in on this. I thought Drew Holiday was supposed to be a great defender. I thought he was supposed to be like this defensive presence that was going to come to the team and be able to shut the opposing player of the opposite, the opposing guards on the opposite team and maybe some small forwards down. I thought that he was this defensive stalwart that was going to come and change the entire complexity of the Milwaukee Bucks defense. But what I have seen in the playoffs, not just last night, but in the playoffs, Drew Holiday hasn't impressed me not one bit. Forbes hasn't either, but we'll talk about that another time. Drew Holiday, you know what pissed me off about that last night, young Cody? One, John Collins didn't even set a screen on. He just got shook, right? Yes. After you get shook, you don't even move. Did you see what he did, young Cody?
He was lost.
No, young Cody.
He was lost. He thought he kept going.
He didn't even hustle. He just looked. He just stood there and looked while Trae Young is wide open. And it took Portis to come out of the lane to run at him. Drew Holiday just like looked at him. He didn't even, you don't get picked, you get shook. At least try to hustle back and get in front of him and stop the shot. Yeah, Cody, he just stood there. If I would have been Budenholzer, you know what I would have done? Time. Get on the bench, bro. You may not play. You may not play the rest of this series. Why, young Cody?
Because what else you got?
I don't at that point. At that point, I don't care. You know why I don't care? I'll play Forbes the whole time. I'll play Connington the whole time. You know why? Because at least I know I got two players out there that's going to hustle. Young Cody, that is, as a coach, you're watching that. First of all, you the one that got shook. You didn't get picked. You didn't get picked. You got shook. And then your man, the player that you're defending, the player that belongs to you is standing there for 3 to 4 seconds to adjust himself. Young Cody, he had time to put the ball down, fix his ball spot, pick the ball back up, adjust himself, look over in the crowd. There was somebody that had Bay Young on the side, some young lady, right? Wave to her, ask where Spike Lee at, and still shoot the ball. Huh? Well, all the other players, I just grabbed my hamstring. Am I wrong though, Young Cody? That's on Drew Holiday, right?
So you would put in a player who would.
At that point, what are you getting?
I'm just confused. I'm putting in the player who gives me the best chance to win. Even though he probably didn't play the best because he's like Harris. Think about it. If you get shook out of your shoes, you're not gonna be like, man, you got me. You're gonna get a 3-pointer. I'm gonna just be like, nah, you got it. I'll catch you down.
Everybody gets shook.
Everybody gets shook.
Everybody get done. Let him have it. So you know what I would, if I'm the coach, if after he shook him, he shot the ball, I'd be like, okay, I can see that. You got shook. You didn't have time to recover. See, that's where my issue and my problem is. Drew Holiday had time to recover. Even if he wouldn't have affected the shot, even if he wouldn't have affected it or blocked the shot, Trae Young still would have shot it. You didn't even try. And you didn't even hustle. You gave me no effort. You gave me nothing. You sat there as a fan. You know what I told him? Hey, since you want to be a fan, sit on the bench and watch the rest of this game. I'm going to lose my job anyway. Budenholzer, if he does, look, the only way he keeps his job is if he wins the NBA Finals, right?
I think if he makes it to the finals and puts up a good fight, I think he keeps his job.
Okay, so let's say that, right?
He can't lose to the Hawks. No, he can't lose to the Hawks and still keep his job.
So, with that being said, you're on the sideline and you're watching one of your players potentially helping you lose your job. They'll be like, look, if I'm gonna lose this job, I'm gonna lose it like I want to lose it. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out my way, not your way.
He always looks confused
too. Right? I would have confusingly set Drew Holiday on the bench because, Young Cody, all I'm saying is this, and I don't care how much you've given me. We're at the end of the game. That 3-point. Young Cody, what was the final score of the game? 116-113. Now, I was a math major, right? And you love math, right? So I wasn't a math major. I had to use my fingers and my toes, right? So if I'm not mistaken, so 116, because the big number go on top, right? So the big number go on top. So 116 minus 113. So, we're going to go, since we don't have to change nothing. So 6 minus 3 is 3. The ones are going to cancel out. The other ones will cancel. That's 3 points, right? We lost by how much?
3.
Say that one more time.
Just 3.
One of those, Tris. So 1, 2, 3. Lost by 3 points, right? 3. 3 points, right?
Yep.
What Trae Young get? What did Trae Young get?
Yeah, 3. I think.
What did we lose by? So how do we not know that Drew Holiday, if he hustles back, Trae misses that shot, and then they have to go into overtime? Maybe they lose in overtime, or maybe they win the game. And hold on, that was in the fourth quarter. He did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every point counts in the fourth quarter, right?
Every point counts. This.
Salutatory and diplomatic
I mean,
answer.
technically, you don't double the points in the fourth quarter.
I get it because you are also root for a team who lost 2 double-digit leads in the second half. So you're right. My bad, man, Cody. You're right. But with that being said, you gotta something gotta happen. We lost because that's why I'm looking at it. Every possession. So by your logic, every possession counts.
Yes.
You lost us a possession. That possession lost us the game. That's how I'm looking at it.
Mhm.
That's how I'm looking at it. Why not? If we'd lost by 7, I'd have been like, I get it. We lost by 10. I get it. They lost by 3 points.
So would you have taken? Well, I would take that. But would you have taken out Kevin Durant? Played against the Bucks the last game. They're like, oh man, he looks tired. He's not giving enough effort on the shot.
But he did give them a effort.
But he's tired. Is what I'm saying. Like he's given 100% of effort what he can, but he's tired. So I would take him out of the game.
He played 142 minutes of 149 possible minutes the last week.
I think Steve
Nash is part too. Maybe Budenholzer and Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, Cody, you gotta Drew Holiday learned how to hustle growing up. I watched a story about him and his brothers and where they come from. You know, his parents played basketball as well. Like they've always been that way. That's
the whole family's in the NBA. So.
But that's on him, yeah. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me.
I mean, yeah. I guess he was just like embarrassed. Did he put his head down too? Did he like take off his headband?
See what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and finish this thing out. What I'm doing. Once again, he proved why he's a very good coach.
Yes.
First, and we're up 3. He fouled Giannis. Right? He fouled him after doing what? Fouled him after he would not allow them to shoot. They called a great defensive scheme. Nobody shoots 3. So they doubled Middleton. Middleton passed to Forbes, if I'm not mistaken. They doubled Forbes. And then Giannis flashed in the paint. They threw it to him. And then, wait, hold on. I got a question for you. How old is Solomon?
Like Solomon.
He's older than me.
Solomon,
You think they watch Oscar Robertson?
Afro since like his Afro like real quick.
He looked like he was that one like Oscar Robertson was. He may have witnessed the Wilt Chamberlain game, right?
It was recording the game all in slow motion.
Right. Yeah, how old is he?
He looked like he's like 30. Yeah.
I don't know how old he is. I know how old he looks. But remember, he took the foul on Giannis, made him go to the line and shoot, right?
Yeah.
Also, forced Connaughton to take a shot with 23.5 seconds. They was there about. Anytime you force, first of all, when I seen Pat Connaughton on the floor, I'm saying to myself, where'd he get this stockbroker from? You know Pat Connaughton?
Yeah.
Did he used to play for the 76ers? How you know him?
I think he played for the Trailblazers.
He's like a stockbroker. I was like, where'd he get this stockbroker from? He don't like a stockbroker.
No, what happened was Budenholzer took Drew Holiday out of the game. He was like, I need somebody who's going to hustle. And Pat Connaughton got the ball. He was like, I need somebody who's going to make me score.
Well, I mean, or let somebody else score.
I mean, you want scores or you want somebody going to put effort? I put effort to the shot and airball it like he did.
Connaughton? Mm-hmm. He was open. Yeah, take that. Hey, look, you know what? I'll put it like this. What Drew Holiday was looking at was the exact same thing Trae Young did. It's like, wow, he's wide open. Then he took that shot, right? I remember that just happened not too long ago to me.
You know what he was doing? You said he was a stockbroker. He was trying to imitate like Bitcoin over the next couple of years. He was like, ew.
I bet he drives a Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Or a Prius. Yeah, he don't look like a stockbroker. He's like, I wonder what pork bellies are going to be this year. So I wonder how Rick Ross turning Wingstop into Thigh Stop because there's a chicken wing shortage. I wonder how that's going to work. And by the way, that's really weird again, Cody.
Yeah.
How are there no chicken wings?
I don't know.
So you know what's going to happen, right? In the next couple of months, there's going to be an abundance of chicken wings. And then you're going to really realize that the chicken that you're eating is not real chicken.
Probably gonna
GMO.
be- Uh,
Hey, look, at least they probably put more effort into making that chicken than Drew Holiday winning to stop it. Yeah, Cody, he was horrible, bro.
that was different. At least, yeah,
I'm about to take a break. When we come back, man, we're gonna talk about the Clippers are in familiar territory, yeah, Cody. The Clippers are in familiar territory,
right where they want.
but they lost. They're lost. They're in familiar territory. They know exactly where they are, but they can't seem to get out. Maybe because they keep on the paper. We'll be back. Got anything, you Cody? We still live. We talking. Huh? Yeah. Are we gonna get a Max Booker? Huh? We're gonna get a Max Booker. So it's not. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. I'm good. Oh, I got the article. Are you ready to come back? Hey, welcome back to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge, right here on Raise the Praise 100. Make sure you download the app at Raise the Praise 100 or listen to us on RaiseThePraise100.com. 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. In the barracks with me, I have young Cody. On last, before we went to the break, we were talking about the Eastern Conference Finals, game one of the Atlanta Hawks defeating the Milwaukee Bucks 116 to 113. All right, young Cody, game three of the Western Conference Finals. The Phoenix Suns versus the Los Angeles Clippers is on tonight. The Suns are up 2-0. What do you think about Chris Paul coming back?
I kind of like it, but at the same time, I kind of like the flow that the Suns had. It was very, very. He just came from out of nowhere, in my opinion. But I like the flow that they have. But I'm glad Chris Paul is coming back. I'm rooting for Chris Paul to win the championship.
I am as well. I would
really
love
want
to see it. But I think that what they're getting back is that veteran presence that they need. And I think
Yes. They turned over the ball a lot last game, and I think he'll cut down.
and the last game, he would have calmed everything down. You know what I mean by that? It was too close. But if he's in the game, he's running. I got you. I know. They made Devin the at the end of the game, Devin Booker was too much a ball handler.
Yes.
And when you got Chris Paul in the game, that doesn't happen like that.
He's trying to make too many
Yes.
decisions.
And because you remember at the end of game one that he had 11 assists, they were going in, he was FaceTiming. It was him and DeAndre Ayton FaceTiming Chris Paul. And then it's like, I had DeAndre Ayton said he had that Booker had 11 assists. And then Devin Booker was like, man, these motherfuckers was asking me for the ball. I don't know how to do all that. So I think getting Chris Paul back, though, is going to. Yeah, Cody, I said that the Clippers are in familiar territory, but they are lost, right? So against the Utah Jazz, they were down 2-0. Against the Mavericks, they were down 2-0, and they came back. right? That's not gonna happen in the series. The Suns. So what did I tell you? When they beat the Mavericks, I said I knew they were going to beat the Mavericks because the Mavericks only had Luka. When they played the Utah Jazz, I said that the Utah Jazz are the Dallas Mavericks 2.0 because they only have Donovan Mitchell. The Suns got too many weapons. And not only do they have too many weapons, their coach is way better than Quinn Snyder or, new Indiana Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle.
Yeah.
I put it like this. It may go 6, and that's because Paul George is going to will it to 6. But other than that, no. The Suns are going to the finals. If they don't go, it's because they lost it. I can't see in a scenario unless Chris Paul they pull Chris Paul back out again for COVID. Then it'll go 7.
Let's get it.
Yes. But other than that, Cody, it's not going to go. This series is only going to go. It may be a gentleman's sweep. What do you think?
I was thinking maybe 5 games because I feel like the Suns are good enough to win a game in Staples Center.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they'll split game 3 and 4 and then probably win another game going back to game 6. But it's quick. I don't know. I feel like I slept on the Suns. I don't know why I feel like I slept on the Suns this entire season. I just felt like I was like, okay, Utah's up there, but I already know Utah make it to the playoffs. They always, look really good. And you say, oh, Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year. Oh, Donovan Mitchell, they got all the shooters and da-da-da-da. And you can't see what happened.
It felt like a feel-good story.
Yeah. And, teams were hurt. Teams were the Clippers at the end of the season. They threw a bunch of games.
You got a coach who is a widower who lost his wife to a horrible, tragic accident, who's making his comeback now, getting himself together. You're looking at a team who went 8-0 in the bubble last year. You're like, oh, wow, they can get together. You're looking at Devin Booker, who made this time for him to get his just due. How many people were upset that he didn't make the All-Star team. Mm-hmm. So he kind of like took the underdog role. You're looking at a Chris Paul who, thinking he's coming to the end of his career. He may not ever make it to a finals. So you're right. There are still good stories. You got DeAndre Ayton, the number 1 pick in the 2018 NBA draft. You're looking at like Cameron Payne, who was playing in the G League or below the G League.
I think he was in China.
Yeah, Cameron Payne out of the league. Jay Crowder, who got a suit.
Jay Crowder don't play every team before he died.
He got a suit. So you're just looking at, hey, well, is Frank Kaminsky on that team?
It's Frank.
Who's the white guy? The center?
Sarge is you talking about. He played the 76.
So you saying by osmosis, y'all?
Yeah, by osmosis, by the touch, by the feel.
So look, Devin Booker is a walking mismatch, bro.
Yeah.
Devin Booker is a walking mismatch. And here's the thing. This is what I like about Chris Paul coming back. Patrick Beverly gonna come try to pull that on I'm a pesty type BS, and Chris Paul's gonna pesty him right back.
He's gonna get fouled. I think Patrick Beverly's gonna get fouled.
I look at it as because Chris Paul is that pesty type player, and he got the attitude. He got the same attitude that Patrick Beverly has. He just doesn't show it all the time. But you're not gonna be beating up Devin Booker like that, and Chris Paul not gonna come get you. He's going to come and get you. And so Patrick Beverly ain't gonna be able to do all that, Patrick Beverly tricked y'all, man. Just running around here doing nothing. So what do you think about the game the other night though, young Cody? The refs got it right?
They got it long. That's what they got it. I felt like I was watching like Titanic, the extended cut or something. It felt like I don't know.
Whoa.
4 hours.
Wait, young Cody. They said the last 2 minutes took 33 minutes. The last 90 seconds of the game took 33 minutes. Yeah, Cody, you watch Titanic all the way through?
I always catch it. This is gonna sound pretty bad. I always catch it when the boat about to
when the boat about to crash, you're like, oh, this is a good part.
Yeah, I've never watched it all the way through. If I watch it and then I see like the people in what is it cockpit? Like
I don't know.
They driving the boat. I'd be like, that's not interesting enough. I gotta see like when the water come in the boat.
I've never watched Titanic.
You gotta watch the last 30 minutes. Watch the last 30 minutes.
I've never watched Titanic. I've never watched Pearl Harbor. I watched pieces of Pearl Harbor, but I've never watched that film.
That's how it is. You gotta watch the end.
So the rest got it right on the out of bounds. Because there's a lot of people who was like, they got it right, but that's not how the game is supposed to be played. Why? It's the letter of the law.
Yeah. I think what it is if that's the case, then you can do that on every single possession.
Well, you can call holding on every play in the NFL.
This is also true. I don't know. I don't like the game to be slowed down. I don't know if anybody follows me on Twitter, Cody_Field. I said there should be a dedicated person sitting at the replay booth. And whenever the refs say, oh, can we review that? It should take no more than 10 seconds to review that play.
Ain't that what they do when they go to New York? Because they go to New York.
Yeah. I don't understand why. Like, I can watch the play and be like, all right, play on. Like, I think, oh, man, what series was it? I think it might have been this Clipper-Sun series. And something happened. No, it was Hawks. It was Hawks
76ers.
Hawks 76ers. And they went to the replay booth for literally 10 seconds. And he was like, all right, play on. Like, Joel Embiid had just sat down. He was getting back up. Because you don't want to allow, because that timeout or whatever they were doing allowed Monty Williams time to draw up a play.
They said they never ran that play. Yeah.
Exactly. So you think they run that play if they don't get that long break that they had? So they need to fix that. That shouldn't be a thing that happens.
Crowder's pass goes down as all-time great.
Oh, I think DeAndre made a good play by dunking the ball, but that was a perfect pass. Perfect pass.
So did you know? So let me tell you something. Full disclosure, I didn't know that you couldn't call interference with goaltending. I didn't know you couldn't call goaltending on an out-of-bounds play like that.
I seen the Tyson Chandler play, and I was like, that's why they always say, oh, you got to be sure that somebody doesn't roll to the rim. I'm guessing that's why they're saying it, because you can touch it over the square. That's why I'm thinking. I'm like, every time Golden State is down by 2 points or anything, I would just have Steph Curry inbound the ball.